Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be making a recipe from the BraveTart cookbook by Stella Parks, and the recipe we are going to be making is called Glossy Fudge Brownies, which is loved by all and just a great brownie dessert. Here are the ingredients for the brownies. I'm going to be doing a double batch in this video, but you can follow along with the quantities listed here. First, we have a dozen eggs. Then we have 6 sticks of unsalted butter. Then we have this Girtard Cocoa Rouge cocoa powder. Then we have this instant coffee. Then we have some vanilla extract. Then we have some salt. I have 12 ounces of chocolate here. You'll be using 6 if you're making a normal batch. Then we need some sugar, some brown sugar, and some all-purpose flour. Put your eggs back in the fridge because the recipe does call for eggs straight out of the fridge. First, make sure you adjust your rack to be in the center position, and then preheat your oven to 350. After you preheat the oven, now you can put foil on your pans. You probably only need 1, but since I'm doing a double patch, I'll have 2. The book said to crisscross foil pieces on the pan, but my aluminum foil was big enough that I didn't need to. Next, you can grease your pans. You can use spray-on grease, but I am just going to use an extra stick of butter. Now you want to measure out your flour and make sure you level it with a knife. And also measure out your cocoa powder and put them both into the sifter. I add a little bit more cocoa powder to mine just because it is recommended to use 72% dark chocolate, and I believe I'm using 54%. When that's finished, it's time to melt your butter. To melt the butter, we'll turn this on to medium. Look at that butter melt. When the butter's melted and it's starting to hiss and pop, that's when you want to turn the heat down a little bit so that it just goes to a simmer. The butter is going to be making this really loud and weird sound, which is hissing and popping according to the cookbook. And while it does that, you're just going to want to kind of stir it every once in a while with this spatula, which I guess is what it wants because it gets quiet when I do that. And you're going to try and scrape any brown bits that are off the bottom while you do that. You're just going to keep doing this and stirring it every once in a while and keep it on the heat. You're going to want to stop stirring and heating the butter when it is about this color. You can see when it's about that color and it's completely silent, like it's gone more calm. I think this is because we are trying to teach the butter patience, and only after it stops screaming at us will we reward it with giving it chocolate. So let's turn off the heat and slowly mix in our chocolate. The chocolate is going to melt fairly quickly, and you're just going to want to keep mixing it with this heat-resistant spatula. And it's going to be quite a thin mixture, but it should mix. It shouldn't be like separated. Then add your white sugar, brown sugar, salt, eggs, and vanilla and instant espresso to your final bowl. Take this whole bowl and put it into a stand-up mixer, or you can just do it by hand if you don't have one, but I'm lazy. And put this onto medium-high speed. And whisk until it's fluffy, which according to the book is about 8 minutes. Alright, this looks good to me. So now let's transfer it into a bigger bowl because it's not all going to fit in here. Now that you have the 3 mixtures, it's time to whisk in the chocolate syrup butter thing we made. Once that's mixed in, we can mix in the powder mixture. It says to mix in and then fold to make sure that all the ingredients are incorporated, but because I have such a large amount and because I also want to try and keep it fluffy, I'm just going to fold this in to start with. Finally, you should have something that looks like this. And once you do, it's time to pour it. After you pour it in, the batter is a little thick, so you might have to spread it out. Try not to just bang the pan onto the counter or table because that will let all the air escape. And now it is time to put it in the oven. So I'm going to put them both on the same rack. You'll probably only have one, so it won't matter. And then we're going to put it on for 25 minutes. But I have 2 in there, so I am actually going to put mine on for 30 minutes. As you can see, they have this nice glossy film on top, which is really cool for reflecting light and looking good. They look good to me, but the cookbook said it should be barely firm, as squishy as the squishy part of your forearm. But my forearm is really buff and has no squishy part. So to check, I'm gonna try and jiggle a little. And as you can see, it's not really jiggling at all. And I think that counts as firm. So it's time to just let these cool to room temperature, and then we'll pop them out. Once they cool down to room temperature, you can either store them like this at room temperature for a while, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them. So just put them onto your cutting board, and then peel back all of the tinfoil. And as you can see on mine, the butter really worked to peel the tinfoil off of this. So I'm going to slide all the tinfoil right off, easily as that. And then you're going to want to get a plastic knife. You can get these at the store. They'll be called lettuce knives, but I don't think I've ever used them for lettuce. They're much better for brownies, because if you use a metal knife, it will stick to the knife. Then you can just cut this and your brownies are ready. Here's some photos I took of the brownies. I brought them to a party and they just disappeared. So I guess everyone liked them, but sadly I wasn't able to take a photo of the nice spread I had. So here's some photos of the leftovers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!